Hello, this is going to be a fade guide on bind. I'm going to start off pretty fast, so I'm trying to get through this video as fast as possible because my videos are just going to take way too long if I don't. So the first thing I want to look at is a defense. I'll look at A first, then B, then I'll look at attack. Just overall attack stuff. So the first thing I want to show is kind of how I play A. I tend to just play backside. I do have. There's a lineup that's not really particularly, what's it called, reliable, because it doesn't always go through this. But a more reliable one is this, which I do sometimes. You jump on this, and you can spray people if they are in this corridor, or just entering it. So if they're like in this sort of area, or obviously further up, you can always wallbang them from there. It's pretty strong if you know that they're like taking shows. There's not too many ways you can like do this. There are some like free throw ones I can do, which are pretty good, like this one. Tend to be pretty decent, but I don't have any particular lineup for it. I just kind of aim up at near the wall, and sometimes it lands there, sometimes it doesn't. You can see. Probably should get an actual lineup for that, to be honest. I mean, you could probably just sit here, throw it kind of equal with this, bit there. Probably a bit fine, though it's not. Probably something like this. Maybe? Yeah, there you go. Something like that. Something like that. So you just aim like just to the right of this. Like this. They land there every time. Okay, that's good. Good to know. I usually just free throw it on top of there from like here, because I'm usually rotating. I usually play B. So I'm usually rotating, so sometimes I get it up there, sometimes I don't. It's not the end of the world if you don't, to be honest. You generally only get one scan with fate, like one like second of scanning with her fade taunt anyway. People tend to shoot it pretty fast. Also, stuff a bit with prowlers. You just want to, on defense, you kind of just want to use prowlers to skate to areas that they haven't taken, so then you can like take it. So doing this not like like 20 seconds into the round is pretty good, because you can tell if they're taking showers or not, if they're just like walking up and things, and if they're not making any sound. A good way to clear the area. You can actually check the corners too, if I do it properly. So you can check like this, and that will actually check both corners. You can obviously do the same A short too, both ways. You can literally check both like this, checking both. You can also check hookah. So you've got everywhere to check on A. Quite easy to check places on A. It's also not that bad on B. It's not great on B though. And then in terms of CCs on A, you just kind of want to like aim near this thing. It should usually land on short near cubby, and there's lots of like, you want to try and like coordinate this with mollies or nades from Raze or like brimstone KO. You want to try and like coordinate these things, so you want to be coming like, I'm going to seize short, or if you see them throw a nade, then maybe get your nade, make sure like try and seize if you can't really communicate with them. They're not really communicating with you. Just try and see when they like to use their nades, or try and be a bit more observant with when they're going to use a nade. It's pretty hard, honestly, to do that way. Ideally, you just want to come with the Raze, or come with the KO, or come with the Brim. I don't really have one for showers, but I'm assuming there is a good one through here. It probably actually is the Haunt and what if the, oh wait, I just realized I don't have like, probably would be like this. Are they the same? They're fairly similar. Well, I could do like this, right? If I do this, swap over. Yeah, oh, it just bounced off nothing. Okay, that's a bit weird. But yeah, they do have the same lineup. They're like exactly the same projectile, I guess. But obviously this is not a very good lineup for the C's. It's weird that it bounces. It's a very weird thing to see. But yeah, I guess that's an option if you want to do that. If you don't want to like use Haunt there. If you want to save it for when they execute here. You can line this up, I guess, and then do this. I'm sure there's definitely more reliable lineups for the C's. At that time it didn't bounce. That's weird. But yeah, I mean that will really help, because it'll mean that anyone stuck here, they'll have to like come tucked around this corner. You'll see them tethered. If you peek this, so you'll know that they're there. So that's good. Not bad. I think that's basically it for A. I need to show ults actually as well. And you can also, I mean, I've already seen parallels, but you can haunt through here. I wouldn't recommend haunting through here. If you've got like a Raze with you to like nade this as well, you can just throw a seize and nade together, and it should hopefully get you kills if they're in hookah or outside hookah. In terms of ults, your ult is pretty strong for dealing with like really fast pushes, because it also notifies you how many people are there. So as soon as they start pushing, like if the smokes come down, you can ult and it can like stop their push in its tracks, waste their smokes a bit longer, because they'll be less likely to kind of push in when they're like when they're fade ulted, because they're decayed and not blinded, they're decayed and deaf. So you can like start running up here, and you can fight them when they're coming through from like these angles. And they'll be checking every angle because they're deaf. But the benefit of it is that you can run. So if you're the only person here, they'll expect Fade not to be here because you've just ulted from like back here, right? They're not going to expect you to already be up here. They might do. So there's more aware people probably are. So we'll go over to B now. B is where I usually play on Fade, because I'm just honestly put here by teammates. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that Fade is here, because I think she's pretty good at defending B, especially when she's got ult. Same with the ult. I'm going to show off the ult now. So you can get an ult that's like pretty much covers both choke points they can enter from. So if they ever try and push, if the smokes come down or someone dropped out hookah, then you can just ult back site and you can tell how many people are pushing into the site. You can lock some prowlers onto them. Especially, if unfortunately you can't really choose which person the prowler will go on to because from the trails with your ult. So it doesn't prioritize like the target, like closest target, whatever. It just goes onto the first trail it sees. So unfortunately, it's not the best at that sort of stuff. So you may want to still do this. It may still trigger on like a long ult, to be honest, a long ult trail. But hopefully, get the RNG to go onto the closest target. In terms of haunts, there is one haunt I do, which is like this. That might be a bit wrong. No, it's not. It's fine. So it just sees like basically all of long. It sees very close to long too. Sees all of that. There's also one when they go out. Unfortunately, it's very finicky to get one that sees like all of to see outside because of this wall. So I don't really like doing that anyway. I think it's kind of a waste unless someone wants to push this. Then I try and find a way to do it. I guess the best way would just be up in hookah with them and throw that. But if they're not pushing, then I like to I either like to do this one, which I've already just showed, or I like to do wait. I like to wait. I may throw a prowler in long to see if anyone's pushing in, and then otherwise I'm going to throw a haunt at this wall up here for when they come out, so then they're all revealed walking out. And it's a very same sort of vein as recon darts with Sova, is that you want them to look up and behind them to shoot things that are revealing them or like very annoying like pieces of utility. So having one in this corner that's revealing them as they come out is really, really strong. Because the people who have to like drop out probably a smoke here and then shoot this like up and right while you can be wallbanging them. So it's honestly really strong, especially on long as well. Even though it is an easier thing for them to shoot, if they get revealed, they're more likely to get spammed because they can get spammed through this, they can get spammed through this, and they can get spammed through this. So it's like very, very, even like inside tube, right? Very weird angle here, but they can get sprayed through it. I think just about like some very like tight of angles. But there would be, you'd be exposed to hookah there, but it's still possible, I guess, if there's like maybe a smoke here. Even sitting in smokes, if you're sitting in if you're sitting in a smoke here, and that reveal is up, then maybe someone's got 3 kills. Some people coming out long, so pretty big. C's are kind of like the same, exactly the same. You want to wait for them to drop out, especially hookah, because hookah's very easy because you can hear them drop out. So you can just throw it up, and you probably want to just detonate it with C's because you can detonate the wall, so you can detonate the haunt to use it early. So you can do something like this. So you can like kind of time where it's gonna land, so you can drop on short next to you, stuff like that. Very important to remember on Fade. I've shown off the ult, I've shown off C's, shown off haunts, and prowlers are unfortunately you can only really use long. You can't really get them up into hookah. So I wouldn't obviously you can't really do that. If you want to play in hookah, you can. I have done it once or twice. Usually I do it with judge if I am maybe struggling in the game. If I'm having like a bad game, then I might just sit in hookah with the judge and use my util to really annoy them. Like seize and judge together can be really annoying. If you hit them close, you can seize it, and then they're like forced to kind of fight the judge. So it can be really annoying for them. Like loading the prowlers as well. Prowlers are gonna just come and see, like blind them while fighting the judge as well. So it's gonna be really tough for them. You can also do some stuff like if you know they're gonna go into hookah, you can like set up a haunt like this, really close, and then start wallbanging them through the bottom of the wall. Although it is wallbangable back as well, so you can die very easy like this, and very risky spot because you will be open long if you don't have a teammate there, or your teammate's already died, or if they've just gone back. Then it's hard to get out because you have to cross through this sideline. And then that's basically defense, honestly. There's not much to cover in defense on bind because it seems like I mean it's pretty much just actually there's one more thing. Prowler through this you can see so at the start of the round you can see if they're going A through showers or not, if you want to inform your team. But aside from that, because there's no mid, it doesn't really not really a massive amount you have to think about on defense and attack. Even like when you're like thinking about the map as a whole, there's not like a mid section to take control of or anything, so it becomes a lot easier to like understand the map. At least from maybe not so much if you're like well I'm trying to think of the word, like knowledgeable about like maybe CS, you played CS a long time or something, then maybe it actually is a harder map because there's no mid section. I know it's not very many people's favorite maps. I don't particularly like the map a massive amount, but I think it's a decent map. It's definitely not a good map, but it's a decent map. Not a bad map though, I don't think. Not to me anyway. But the lack of mid section does make it a very weird map. So we're just going to attack. So attack. Let's run through everywhere. So if I'm just doing like an A push, I usually just start on this side when the barriers drop, and I line up my crosshair with this leaf on the right side of this corner. So this corner, and I jump, and at the pinnacle of my jump, I'm going to press left click, and it goes onto this. This literally reveals everything. It reveals right in this corner as well. So all of this is going to be clear with this, and same with like all these corners. It's all clear. Because I think pretty sure it does see right in the corner there too, but I could be wrong. It might not see right in the corner. I'm pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure I've seen a scan there before. I managed to mess that up. I think it's because I no clipped a bit too early. Oh, I messed up again. Hold up, what? That's like how have I done that twice now? I don't ever do it in actual games. Never mess it up in actual games, by the way. That's weird. But yeah, that does definitely see the corner. You'll see anyone over here. It just won't see this corner and like some tuck out angles here, but obviously you'll see them when you commit. It will see like all of backside aside from close truck. You'll see most of backside here aside from close triple, and you'll see most of backside over here aside from like this close corner here. I'm pretty sure it does see bench as well. I'm pretty sure it sees here. It sees on top of this too. I'm pretty sure. I might have to check that. Pretty sure it does check on top of that, but could be wrong. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Yeah, make sure that's right this time. I think it was bouncing off the cable. Yeah, okay, it does definitely see on top of this. So it does see basically all of sight. Majority of sight. It just doesn't check some of the very like passive angles I guess they could take for bind day. For attacking bind day. In terms of let's do prowlers next. So if I just do, I'm just gonna do like if I'm going up short, I'm just gonna do a normal prowler like this. If I'm playing against a particularly annoying team and we don't have like a sentinel or something, say if we don't have a chamber, which is very unlikely. But if I have had it happen before where we haven't had a chamber on this map, then I can send a prowler through here to try and catch any like flankers coming at hookah. Although that's very situational and very unlikely. It's usually if you're probably going to if you think about taking the portal and sending the prowler through is actually not a bad idea because it can like give you an idea if there's someone there or not. You can also just then use the Prowler to recheck sight, especially if you got these smokes up from like a brimstone or an omen or something, and you've already thrown this. When you've run up here, it's probably just expired, or if they shot it, it's probably shot it for like a couple seconds. So you've got no info for like a couple seconds. So you can just like check close to the smoke, see if no one's pushed the smoke, because they can push the smoke usually. If you don't have a sage as well, already up there, then you may want to use a Prowler to check that. And then once you've planted, you can use your C's for post plant, unless you've got like an arrangement with a raise or a KO or brim or something. To like lock people in place. It probably around lamps like this. Okay, maybe not like that. Quite like that. More like this. And then nade them because they're kind of stuck there. I mean, actually, they're not that stuck because I can come around this corner, so they probably can live through that. It's probably more effective against people like on top of truck or something. So you know, or like behind truck even. Won't see it come in. I know I like to throw when I play Raze on this map, I like to throw my nade behind truck, so I guess throwing your C's behind truck is always going to be fairly beneficial. And that's pretty much all I do on A short. So on A showers, if I ever go showers, I'm going to start off with the Prowler to check both sides, and that would check everything. May need to like wiggle the Prowler a bit before when you go into the doorway like this, to check everything, and it will literally check everything. Okay, I'll do one that's actually good this time, shall I? So, wiggle there, and then you do this, and that'll check everything. It will actually proc from like fairly far away. The Prowler would, so that would actually see everyone. And then you take the orb if you want and things like that. I haven't actually got. Wait, I think I've got one. I think it's this. Yeah, it's this. Okay, so that should land on the vent. Okay, I've actually probably got more of a thrown on than I thought I did. Usually it lands on the vent. I should throw it wrong again. How am I throwing them wrong when I'm showing them off? Like, it's not possible. I throw them right every time when I play them in the game. Yeah, I did actually move my mouse there, but it should land on this vent. And you'll see the majority of things. It'll see back behind truck. It'll see here. It sees majority of backside. If you get it right on the corner, it will see in this corner as well. But that one's hard to do. It's very orange. I mean, I can't throw it right, and I've been throwing it for a while. And you'll see like anyone tucked in corners here, on top of here. It's really useful for executing here. I think the range is off here. I don't think the range quite covers this corner. So honestly, this is probably the best one, the one that I showed earlier for sure. That probably is the best one. So I wouldn't recommend like going through showers fully. Maybe if you want to Prowler it at the start of the round for a teammate and then run back and do this haunt and then run short. Probably the best option you have. I swear that never happens to me normally. I don't know how it's happening now. It literally barely ever happens. I don't think I've done that once in actual games where it's bounced like that. That's crazy. I show it off and it does it. Okay. So let's go B. Actually, no, let's not go B. Let's look at Caesars real quick. I've already looked at Caesars here. But short is fairly self-explanatory for Caesars. I mean, there's not really much you can do. I guess you could technically do the one where I like throwing on for like a full throwing arm on that one, where I've threw it so far. I guess that's actually decent because it does catch triple. You can tell if someone's triple with that. Tell if someone's like back in the right corner. I actually aimed a bit higher than this thing, so it's a bit here. Dude, I swear that I throw this so much better normally. Yeah, that's how I threaded the needle normally. I guess I'm just more locked in when I play, so I don't really make those sort of mistakes. But yeah, that's like that, but obviously not a C's. It's exactly the same projectiles as a haunt, so don't worry. And then after that, we'll just go over the two ults you can do. So with A, there's like this ult. It'll get a lot of basically a lot of lamps and things, but you don't have to do it like that. I think honestly, this is kind of better. I mean, this is pretty good as well. I mean, I think it's probably the best one. Actually, think about it. I was thinking about this could be better, but because then you could just do this anyway. So you just get a Prowler it and you just look through lamps anyway. But I think the decay is what makes it really strong in lamps, because you can just basically run and gun running through lamps. in combination with a parallel going towards them too, like it probably makes it impossible for them to live in lamps. And the one from showers is there's actually two from showers. There's this one which is far back and diagonal. You basically hit everything apart from like some of lamps, and it's very unlikely someone's playing the off angle in this sort of angle here. I mean, it's possible then. And then basically hits majority of sight, or basically all of sight. And the other one you can do is here, which is basically the same angle, but you can hit deeper. You can also do it like this as well. You get all of lamps, or you can do like this, where you get a little bit less of lamps but more of sight. It can basically be annoying for the rotators because they're going to get hit by this, and it can make them maybe even not fight you, even despite maybe not having smokes down in heaven and things. So pretty good. And then we'll move on to attacking B. So generally when I attack B, I find my attack B is stronger than my attack A normally. Personally, anyway, when I play Fade. So there's two ways to go out. There's hookah and there's long. I'm going to show you hookah first. So hookah is a fairly easy one. You're going to get your Prowler and clear hookah, pretty much like a drone or a dog. If you've played Sova or Sky, very very similar. And then once that's done, like obviously if there's someone in there, you can like tease them in the corner. A bit better than that. And sadly, I mean, actually, it's not that bad for it. It doesn't quite reach everything. There isn't like a lineup for it. You just gotta do it freehand. Actually, it does hit everything. That's pretty good. I didn't realize you hit everything. I could just look at the map, couldn't I? Actually, yeah, it does hit everything. Okay, it probably doesn't hit on top of this box. This is a high elevation, but I'm not 100% sure. Honestly, I don't remember the last time someone was sitting in hookah. And I've thrown a C's. Honestly. Generally we have flashes, so generally I don't need to use my C's here. Usually I can wait for using Git sight when we go out like this. So they seize back sight, and if I've got a nade, if we've got like a raised nade, they're probably dead. Raise ult, probably dead. And if not, then they're stuck back sight. They can't actually peek because it pulls them back into the center. They can peek like this, but then they'll get pulled back. And the same with this side. I mean, actually they'll probably get less pulled back, so they can probably fight on this angle, but they will get pulled back if they go any wider. And then once I'm kind of in hookah, I will throw this C's, but not right now. When I'm immediately in hookah, like instantly, after using the Prowler and we've took hookah, I'm gonna just run over here and I'm gonna aim at this, and I'm gonna do a little walk and jump, and then throw my haunt, and it will basically reveal the majority of sight. It only doesn't reveal people very close to this. It doesn't reveal this, and it doesn't reveal this. Everything else it will reveal. Actually, maybe not in this corner as well. For some reason I can't ping. But it won't reveal. He won't reveal here either. But you can easily spray like this area. So it's not the end of the world. They didn't see that stuff. You won't see some of elbow as well, but it will see a lot of elbow. You just won't see close like this. But obviously you can't get like the perfect thing. There's not really many perfect like reveals you can get, especially on like a map like Bind. Like there's a lot of annoying corners on Bind. I say that there's not that many compared to other maps, but this map has some like fairly annoying corners, like lamps and on A, over an A, and elbow can sometimes be annoying to try and get like full scans of sites. And then if I'm going to ults, this is a very popular ult. You may have seen this from PRX and from PaperX. It basically just probably hits sight and that's it. Hits a bit of CT, hits a bit of elbow. It doesn't really matter about that sort of stuff. It really matters that it hit all of sight. So you know exactly who's on site. The response to that usually is someone will push onto site after the ult. Like walk onto back site. So after you've done this ult, you basically always want to follow it up with this seize. Because if someone's trying to get onto site, then you can seize them as they're doing it. So they're kind of stuck. They're kind of stuck and decayed, regardless of like if they're trying to make it. Like they're trying to make a play on you after the ult by fooling you that no one's on site. But actually there is. So this seize prevents that from being a problem, or as much as a problem at least. And then that's basically all you can do from hookah. I mean, obviously then you probably got one more predator left. You can send that everywhere you want, anywhere you want to. I'm going to send it tube because it's really hard for Faye to see tube compared to like Sova Oh my god, my Predator was so weird there on the map. So yeah, I'm gonna like go through tube. Or I'm gonna try and check the right corner. Sometimes I'll check elbow, but honestly, most of the time I remember about Fade. I always had a Sage that would wall this. Most of the times I remember, but I think tube is honestly a safer bet to clear. Obviously, you don't need to clear it if you've ulted this, because it would basically be known to you if they're on site or not. And then be long, which is like the last spot. Generally, you're gonna start really far back. So generally, they're always gonna have, or like most of the time, they can have someone posted here, especially like if you're against like Byrains or operators or chamber or something. They're gonna have like an operator posted. So you usually want to just start off with a Prowler to force him to shoot, or to force him to run away. You can also use a seize as well, to keep him where he is, and then, or like keep whoever's upping where they are, and then Prowler them after that, and then it's very, very hard for them to play. Most chambers would probably just leave, and a lot of maybe Jets would leave, maybe Jets won't. Depends, because they're very timed on how they can peek, because their dash being activated, and then they have to use it in that amount of time. They may force themselves to try and peek, to try and use the window they have on their dash. But you shouldn't have to worry about it too much if you just use the right amount of util. Sometimes you'll have flashes that go there with you from like Sky, or sometimes you'll have a dog from Sky. Sometimes you'll have nothing like that, so you have to do it all yourself. And then once you're up here, usually this is smoked, so you know, don't have to worry about. Sometimes you know, you can get spammed, but you don't have to worry too much about getting spammed and things or pushed. And then I like to do this one. So you aim at this like little, there's like a little indent here. You want to aim at the top right corner, and then you want to run and jump, and then a pinnacle jump throw, and you should get this one. So this one will see basically everything on site aside from this corner, very, very tucked in. It will actually see this, all of this, and it will actually see this too if it's right on the edge of the wall, of the roof. It will actually see people tucked in here. Sometimes you don't get that lucky because it's very pixel perfect, this reveal is. So sometimes it won't. But obviously if you realize like it's not pixel perfect, you can always spam this. It's not like the end of the world if you don't reveal this. Obviously, if you do reveal this and there is someone there, then they are free kill because this is spammable. So, you know, it's very nice sometimes to have the free kill. But other times, like, you can still clear it. It's not the end of the world that you don't fully clear it, like guaranteed clear it. And then, obviously, that leaves tube. Tube and, like, to clear, because tube is very impossible to clear on B. So you just want to send a Prowler through. Obviously, not quite this positioning. You want to be like this or something. You're not exposed anyway. Check all of tube. But it will also proc on anyone here too if they like maybe move there after the haunt. And if you don't have a Sage that's going to wall, you can just use it on elbow as well, to check that the smokes, because usually there's going to be smoke here as well. And then in terms of seizes, there's not really like many good ones you can do. I mean, there's this one you can do, which just seizes there, like that corner, and some of tube. And you can also just seize backside from here too if you've got a raise as well. That's very important, or KO or a brim if you want to coordinate with them to molly it or nade it. Unfortunately, there's no like bungee jumps. The bungee seizes. I think there's one on A, but I can't remember how to do it. I saw it once before. I don't really do it very often. There is one, you might have to Google it. Just type bungee seize on bind, and you probably find it. I don't remember what it is. It's definitely on A. It's on A short. It's on like over here somewhere. But I don't know it. I don't usually do it. It's not really that important. Usually to do like in particular bungee ones. They're just very, very cool. They're just not important. And that's pretty much the end of the video, I think. Usually I go over defaulting, but I think I'm slowly coming to the conclusion that I think a guide on how to default with a character is kind of like, it's very self-explanatory. I don't think I need to do it, because essentially you're just using the things that I've taught you on attack anyway, to implement them in a slower way, or in a way that you take space. So at showers, I would told you to like Prowler this at the start, So that means like on a default, like you can do this and you can basically say like, if there's no one there, you can take showers, and then this is like a really good start to the default because you've taken an orb, which is a part of like obviously a resource in the game. And there you have showers control in the map, right, in the round, right? So now all of a sudden they actually can't enter here safe. They have to like be careful that you can be here or not the whole round. When really you could just be one person here, or you could be no one here. You could just leave after predating this, right? So all part of like how you want to play the default. Yeah, so that's the end of the video. If you liked it, then give it a like. If you want to see more, then subscribe. And yeah, hopefully I'll get one out again very, very soon. If you dislike the video, then you can give it a dislike, and feedback, comments are always appreciated. So yeah, thank you. Goodbye.